For number 3, we have y equals x squared minus 8x plus 16. As usual, we find whether this is upward or downward opening, and we see that this is in standard form already. We have a coefficient of 1 here if there's nothing written. 1 is positive, and therefore this opens upward. Part B. Part B, we have, we're looking for the vertex. So the vertex, the x-coordinate of the vertex is negative b over 2a. This is in standard form. A is 1, b is negative 8, and c is 16. So x equals negative 8 over 2 times 1. Which gives us 4. So our vertex happens where x is 4, comma, and we have to figure out what this other number is right here. So what we do is we plug it back into the equation. Y equals x squared minus 8x plus 16, and that gives us that y equals 4 squared minus 8 times 4 plus 16. And if I solve this out, or if I simplify this, I get that y is equal to 0. So this gives me that 4 comma 0 is my vertex. The vertex happens to be an x-intercept. If the vertex is an x-intercept, we have one of the following two situations. It's going to hit like that and just bounce off, or it's going to hit like this and bounce off this way. And I know that since this is upward opening, it's going to look something like this. I know that I'm going to end up with one solution, but let's do the discriminant anyway. Part C. Let's find the discriminant. Discriminant happens at b squared minus 4ac. I go back up, 1, negative 8, and 16. Negative 8 squared minus 4 times 1 times, what was that number again? 16. And I get that this is 64 minus 64, which is 0. So this is my determinant, or excuse me, discriminant. My discriminant is 0. Part D, a 0 discriminant, discriminant equal to 0 means that I have one and only one solution. One solution. Part E, I already know that this is going to be rational. 0 is a perfect square. 0 squared is equal to 0. So I know that that's a perfect square. So if I take the square root of 0, I get 0. And part F, we're supposed to use the quadratic formula. We already know what the solution is supposed to be. We found that out when we found the vertex. So we should end up with 4 comma 0, but this is practice, so let's make sure that everything works out the way it's supposed to. X squared minus 8x plus 16, and that's going to be equal to 0. So I'm going to find A, B, and C. A is 1, B is negative 8, and C is 16. I write my formula. X equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And then I get x equals negative 8 plus or minus square root of, and I could just put 0 here, but let me just follow it through the way I'm supposed to. Negative 8. Square that, minus 4 times 1 times 16 all over 2 times 1. I know that my discriminant gives me 0, so this inside will turn into 0. X is equal to positive 8 now, plus or minus square root of 0 over 2. Let me get rid of this positive sign. It's for emphasis, but I don't really need it. So x is equal to 8 over 2. If I add 0 or subtract 0, it would be the same thing. It just won't affect this 8 at all. So really, this doesn't matter. This doesn't matter at all. And that's why I end up with one solution. So x is equal to, oops, this should have been a 2 here. And this gives me x is equal to 4. So I only have one single solution.